What's going on, guys? Dots Gaming here, and today I'm bringing you all the next video in my Veteran Hard Mode Dungeon Guide series, and that is Direfrost Keep. So we're going to continue on with our dungeon series today, covering the next dungeon down our list and move ourselves one step closer to hitting those DLC dungeons. Now, Direfrost Keep, in my opinion, is a fairly easy dungeon. There isn't really anything overly crazy about it. Like, even the final boss here really isn't too bad in my opinion, but you know, like I always say in these videos, we want to cover every single dungeon in the game so that every player, no matter what skill level and how new they might be, has some reference that they can look to if they want to look up the mechanics prior to going into a dungeon, or maybe if they're just, you know, them and their friends are struggling on a particular dungeon, we want to make sure that we have those guides up. So we're actually going to get to our first boss pretty quickly within this dungeon. We just have a couple of packs of bears that we need to deal with, and they don't really have a whole lot you need to worry about. They stay pretty clumped up easily anyway, so you're able to work through them with your AoE really, really quickly. But besides those two packs, like I said, we're already at our boss time. So we have one more pack of bears, and then our first boss is actually going to be Teeth-gnasher the Frostbound. Guy does not really have a whole lot of mechanics. He has this like little red AoE on the ground that you want to obviously be sure not to stand in too much. That can snare people and deal some damage, so just be aware. And besides that, he just like can charge at the tank and deal some damage, but you just gotta block it. And that's really it. That's really it. There's not really much else to this guy. Just don't stand in this AoE and hold block as the tank and profiteering. There's not a whole lot. So very easily Teeth-gnasher the Frostbound taken down, and our first boss is now under the belt. Now I will show you guys there is a boss in this dungeon that is like a little hidden, and you do need to know where he is though in order to properly get the achievements for this dungeon, and especially if you're going for the Undaunted, this is obviously going to be very, very important, since these achievements will really help you rank up that guild line as quickly as possible. So knowing where this dungeon, or knowing where that boss is going to be key. So again, this is just your normal stereotypical ad pack that I always talk about from all the various dungeons, where you pretty much just have, you know, your archers and your melee guys, and, you know, don't stand in the cones, don't stand in the whirlwinds from the dual wield guys, watch the charges from the sword and boards guys. If you've been watching these dungeon guides, and if you've been going through the base game dungeons, you're going to notice that the certain types of ads have obviously very similar mechanics. So if you pretty much know what they do once, you're going to be good for future dungeons. Like I said, things don't really start to get a lot of variance in terms of the ad mechanics until you start to get to the DLC dungeons. Then you have to worry about like more specific mechanics per mob type. But these ones are the base game dungeons that they all operate relatively similarly. You know, bow guys act similarly to all bow guys, sword and board act similarly to all sword and board, etc., etc. So our next boss is going to be the Guardian of Flame. So as you can see, he does charge at players and deal AoE damage, so do keep that in mind that he will charge at players randomly. Besides that, he has a heavy attack that, again, should just be blocked. And he has that, you saw there was a conal AoE on the ground. He has a frontal conal breath, so again, as long as the tank keeps the boss faced away from the group, he should be fine. And then periodically throughout the fight, random patches of AoE will be dropped on the ground. Just don't simply stand in those, and you'll basically be fine. See, we move out of that patch really quick, and then our tank blocks the heavy attack, and boom, Guardian of Flame is done. So again, not overly difficult of a boss. Just don't stand in those AoEs, watch for the cone, and if he does charge it, you expect to take some damage, but it's not going to be so much that your healer's just not going to be able to heal you right back up. So we bang a left Reno after that room, and we're going to come down here. We have a couple dual wield ads, a healer ad, and some archers. So as usual, the healer ad should be first priority. Bash his heal if he starts to cast it. Excuse me. And we have, again, a couple of archers and a couple of dual wield guys that, again, same type of mechanics that you normally see. Now, when we come down through this cavern here, we have another pack of ads. We have some frozen guys, so be aware that they can probably slow you. And then you also have, from these archer ads, you have these oil things that they put on the ground. So they have oil AoEs that will deal some damage. And then when they light them up, they'll deal flame damage as well. So be aware that, of course, you do not want to stand in those. Just, again, like I've always said, it's your standard ad mechanics that you see from the various dungeons. Now, once you move through that pack, you just continue down here and make a left, and you'll have one more pack of ads. So, again, there's a healer in the back there, and you have 2 sword and board guys. And there's an archer off to the side, the one shooting all of the oil and flame on the ground. So, make quick work of those 3 guys. Pull the archer in, give him a quick kill, and easy peasy. You can also bash that conal attack. Keep that in mind. You notice that there was the bash animation that you could do on the guy's chest, so just be aware that that is there. Now, you're going to go straight up this ladder here, or excuse me, straight up these stairs here, and we are going to have another huge pack of ads. It's, again, basically kind of all the ads that we've encountered in this dungeon in one room. So if your tank groups them up really, really well, you can very easily make quick work of them. And it will just, make this room not a big deal. Now, what you need to do after you kill all these ads, you have to have one person stand on a plate over here, and you see Viserius goes and stands on a plate on the other side of the room. And when you stand on those 2 plates, that will open this gate here, and you can drop down, and you have your next boss, which is, I believe, Drodda's Dreadlord. So, Drodda's Dreadlord does have a close-range melee swinging axe attack, like you see right there. If you get caught by that while you're not paying attention, you can get hit really, really hard. So just be aware. Be aware. You also have frigid banekins that do spawn at the boss's original location and charge the players to deal explode and cause AoE damage. So just watch out for those. That can deal some good chunks of damage. And then she obviously has a heavy melee attack like most of these guys do that you just saw, and Azra blocked, and it's no problem. Now, while some of these individual mechanics don't seem like a ton on their own, if you get hit by that melee axe attack and a Banekin at the same time, that can one-shot you. It's happened to me before, so just be aware that you do need to watch out for those, because you can take a lot of damage. So if you see yourself about to get hit by a Banekin, or then just do your best to block. And then if you're gonna get caught in that melee attack, I would just try to dodge roll out of it. So now we're going to start having some frost trolls as we continue over here to the left. You do need to pull a lever on that back wall, and that will allow you to actually continue on your way. And you're going to have a bunch of frost trolls down here. So again, if you pull all 3, you can pull them into this little opening here, and you can cleave them down really, really easily, assuming that you guys have your AoEs and stuff up. Your AoE ults up. You can make really quick work of these trolls. If your group has lower DPS, though, take them on one at a time. It's your normal troll mechanics, you got your ground pounds and stuff like that. Just don't stand in the AoE, and you'll basically be fine. Now, when we continue back, we're going to notice that we were in the same area that we were before. So we're just going to walk back the way we came, and we are going to have a new set of bosses in a previous area that we were already in. So as we continue, like I said, you're going, and I think it's in this next room. You're going to have 3 separate little mini bosses in here. So you have to come in here and you have to light this fire. And these 3 guys that are all sitting on chairs, the Direfrost and I can't see all the specific names, Lord Agamar and Garmath the Bold. Now, there's really nothing special about these guys, okay? So you can see that it's just your standard mob attacks, kind of, but just on slightly bigger guys. So there's really nothing to concern yourself with. As the tank, just be sure to block the heavy attack coming from the two-handed guy. He's got like a dizzying swing that will like knock you up and stun you, so just be sure to block that. But besides that, there really isn't anything super notable. As you can see, we group them up and knock them down really fast. Now, when you come up here, you actually have to come over to the right here, because that little ice guy over there is our next boss. If you miss him, it's very easy to miss this guy. You can technically beat the dungeon without killing him and get credit for it, but you will not get a lot of the achievements. So you need to come over here and attack Drodda's Apprentice. So Drodda's Apprentice does have a bunch of ads around it that do your normal ad mechanics that I've been discussing throughout the dungeon. And besides that, she also does have this like ice wall that it puts up, and that does a snare and some damage around it, and will send out those like ice whirlwinds that will like come at you along the ground. And if you get caught in that, you'll get snared and whatnot. And she also has that growing AoE damage attack, so be sure when you see that to back away. So back away from the big AoE. Again, you see this frost wall here that will deal some damage and snare, and will shoot out ice tornadoes periodically along the floor. Again, watch out for those as well. But besides that, that's pretty much it for Drodda's Apprentice. Really not a whole lot to worry about. So fairly easy boss. And I believe we only have, I think, 2 or 3 bosses left, and we're done with the dungeon, a little more than halfway done here. So continue down this way to the other side of this like little spot in the room, and you're gonna have some more ads here. You guys just gotta group these guys up. As long as you like pull the guys that were near the staircase and just pull them towards the end of this room, they'll group up really nicely and make it very easy to deal with them all. Again, just, you know, group them up AoE. It's just the staple setup for when you're attacking mobs in a dungeon. So we continue down this corridor here, and again, we're going to get the same usual ads we've been getting. We've got some mages. You have some sword and board guys that are going to do their charge thing. Just simply group them up and kill them. Again, nothing new there, nothing new and notable. As we continue up the stairs here and bang our left, I believe that this opening is going to be our next boss, and that's actually going to be Iceheart, the boss for which the monster set from this dungeon is named after. And I just realized I have not gone over the sets as I start talking. I was like, I even know when I was in the beginning of the video, I was like, the intro of this video felt way shorter than normal. I was like, what? I've definitely forgot to talk about something. So once we finish Iceheart, I will go over the gear sets for the dungeon. Now, once we kill these ads, again, nothing new there. We're going to get into our next boss fight, and that is Iceheart. So Iceheart does have a frontal conal AoE, so the tank is going to want to keep him targeted and faced away from the group. Besides that, the boss is going to have like a usual growing red circle like we saw in our previous boss that will deal AoE damage when it goes off. Finally, he does have a like you said, there's your smash. Doesn't deal a ton of damage, but it does deal enough. He also has a he does summon like Drodda ads throughout the fight that you can very easily kill, and then when he does a smash, he summons these ice pillars at each player's location that deal damage, and snares, so just simply walk out of those. So now that the Iceheart boss is done, we actually can go on to our sets, and the first set is Iceheart. So the 2-piece monster set from this dungeon gives you a line of spell critical, and when you deal critical damage, you have a 20% chance to get a damage shield that absorbs 8,600 damage for 6 seconds, and while the damage shield holds, you deal 770 cold damage to all enemies within 5 meters to you every second. That's going to occur once every 6 seconds. We also have the set Drodda Hulk, our medium armor set, which gives all max stamina for every single line. Now, the max stamina here from Drodda Hulk is actually really good. It gives a ton of damage, so Drodda Hulk is a very good set, especially for PvP. We also have the Ice Furnace heavy armor set, which gives you a line of max magicka, a line of spell critical, a line of spell damage, and when you deal direct damage with the frost damage ability, you have a 50% chance to deal additional flame damage to all enemies within 8 meters of the initial target. This is going to occur once every second. We also finally have our Magicka Furnace light armor set, and this gives a line of physical resist, max magicka, spell damage, and when you take damage from a melee attack while under 80% max magicka, you restore 8k magicka, and this can occur once every 30 seconds. Now, right as I finish saying that, we're going to get into our final boss here, and that is Drodda Ice Reach. So, Drodda Ice Reach, not a very difficult boss. She has a frontal cone AoE. She does a frost AoE tech after she, not a cone. She does a frost AoE attack after she ports to players. So basically, she can't really be taunted. She just attacks players at random. And then whenever she ports like this, she will summon that big growing AoE beneath her, which will then deal damage to all players caught within it. So just after she teleports, be aware, you do need to walk away from her. Besides that, she does periodically summon ice wraiths throughout the fight, so just be sure to kill them. Besides that, when she gets to, I think, about half health, she does summon 2 frost atros that you should definitely prioritize killing before you continue on the boss. So as you can see, she summoned the wraiths. We got her down some health. She ported, and she did her AoE. So it's pretty similar mechanics throughout this entire fight. It's just she ports around, does the AoE, summons the wraiths, and then, like I said, I believe when she gets to 50% is when she summons those frost atros that you just need to cleave down really quickly. But again, do be aware the tank can't really target her, or can't really taunt her. She will just attack players at random. And as you saw, she did use a stun on our tank, so she can randomly stun players, but that just temporarily takes her out of the fight. It doesn't really do much else. I just want to get to the part where we get those atros summoned so I can just show you guys that. So again, the wraiths were summoned. She stuns me really quick. Can't break this one. Trust me, I tried. But you just have to sit in that stun for a little bit, but it's nothing crazy. So we continue to work on her health bar, and I just want to show you guys the frost atro mechanic. She ports again, as you see. After she ports, she goes to the middle because she's nearing 50% HP, so she gets a little crazy. And she is going to summon our Frost Atros here in a hot second. So I thought it was 50%. There we go. She crests below 50%, and now we get our 2 Frost Atros up, and then the same mechanics continue throughout the rest of this fight. Frost Atros do lay some AoE down, so be sure to kill them ASAP. But that's it, guys. Direfrost Keep in the books, as you can see. Not a very difficult dungeon. Not difficult at all. When you do get stunned by that beam, though, healer, be sure to heal that target. But yeah, man, Direfrost Keep, fairly easy dungeon, but I did just want to go over it for you guys today in case you did need this guide or wanted to know what sets this dungeon had. So if you guys enjoyed this dungeon guide and found it helpful, I'd appreciate it if you smacked a like on it. Any questions about the dungeon at all, feel free to leave a comment below. And for more great ESO content, please hit that sub button as well as the bell to keep notifications on. So thank you guys so much for stopping by today. I very much appreciate it. As always, I'm Dots Gaming, and I'll see you all in the next one.